Hello, Crafty Nita here. I wanted to show you my next project, just something I'm thinking about doing. All the different things that I've put together, kind of making some plans. I have this old Tide box. Now this is probably close to 40 years old. I had it. It was open from the bottom and I had magazines sitting in it on a shelf. You see, I even have the name of the magazines here. And I thought, well, I could use this, cut open the front, and make a little scene in there, like a little laundry scene. And then at an antique shop, I ran across this little wringer washer. It was a fridge magnet. And Susan at My Mini Madness was showing how to make soap bubbles with your hot glue. So I took a toothpaste lid and cut it down and painted it silver, and then did some little handles on the side with string and glue, and put some fabric in there for my laundry that's getting scrubbed. I also had this burlap ribbon in some, I guess it's kind of a jute trim, and I can't remember where I saw it. I know that Susan at My Mini Madness was showing how to use some of this to make baskets with, and I was thinking it might have been little Gretchen that was talking about using burlap, so I thought I might make a laundry basket. And I had this for years in a little scene, and then it got broken, and I'm not sure it's the right scale. Everything's kind of grungy now, so I might make some new little clothesline with some clothes. And Aquilia Mini, she was showing how to make tiny clothes for laundry, and I might try some of those. And here's a little basket I already had. I just feel like it's not constructed quite right, so I don't know, the handle's in the way. But anyway, I just want to get started on something new and use up these little cute little things. And I have my plans here, and I'm going to put a scene in the back and a little porch with the ringer on it. And I think that'll be cute. So anyway, I'll try to figure out how to edit and add in as I go. So, okay, here's where I've gotten so far. Things I'm still deciding about, really, but I think this is what I'm going to do. I got this image online, and I think I just love it. Just beautiful open field, farmland, beautiful blue sky. I made a screen porch. This is just a piece of netting, and I tinted it with some markers, permanent markers, to make it kind of grayish, bluish, tannish. Anyway, made the little frames. I've got to put hinges and knobs and etc. And kind of got the porch figured out as far as size. I got some parts here to maybe make a bit of a roof. I've got some little critters to add. And I made a little scrub board and a clothesline with little tiny clothes. And, oops, one of my socks came off. And I thought I might add a little calf, not sure yet. And this Peggy doll, she's going to dress her. She's got on plastic clothes. I think I'll put some fabric clothes on her. I might use this pretty fabric I got from Susan at My Mini Madness. Maybe put some hair on her. Some yarn. Anyway, just ideas right now. Loose odds and ends. I made a little basket of clothes. And I don't know. We'll see. Still got a lot to figure out. I'm not really good at constructing, and I've got to make a wall and a roof. I think I'm going to have it at an angle. Oops. At an angle. And then the clothesline will be at an angle across here. Lots to figure out. Lots to do. Lots of fun. Okay, I've got the backing in, printed off an image I liked online, and you can see I had to piece it together a little bit, but it went okay. Made 2 copies, and so they spliced together pretty well. I added popsicle sticks here. I used old ones I had, to give me something to brace my back against. And I started to paint it, and I thought maybe I should show it to you first. And it goes down like here. And I'm going to paint it white. As you can see, I used cereal box cardstock. I like it better than using craft sticks or balsa wood. Just easier for me to work with. Easy to cut, easy to glue. It takes glue really well, takes paint really well. So anyway, I got my screen door in. Used a couple layers of some mesh I painted, and used an image I found online to put inside so you look like you have a kitchen in there. And I'm going to paint it white and get it in place. And I put in the braces for my porch. It's going to be at a bit of an angle, and I'll have steps, and then there'll be the wall, and I still have to figure out a little bit of a roof and my grass. So that's where I am so far. Okay, it keeps tilting over backwards when I have the top up. I want to be able to open it like so, and it just flips right over. So I put in some washers to give it some weight, and I put everything else in it that I think I'm planning on having in it, and it seems to finally be weighing enough. Let me see if I can get that in there to stay put. So if I glue this in and put the porch on here, and have the roof on here. So I've got some craft sticks to give me something to glue against, and I have what will be the steps and trims and the porch poles hold up the roof, plus all the other stuff. I think that should be enough. Oh no, I'm wondering if I should add one more big washer along the side here. Might be best. Construction is not my forte, and I have wrestled and wrestled and wrestled with this. I think if I'd had it straight, it would have been fine, but I decided to put it on an angle, and that just made everything just crazy. And I made a paper pattern for the roof portion and cut out a lot of shingles from cereal box cardboard and got them glued down. Now I've got to paint this, and I'm not quite sure what color, and paint the posts and trims. Those will be white. I've got my paint out here, and I'm thinking that the steps will be green like the porch itself. Once they're in place, and everything is in place, and this will be a trim piece for over here, and I have one for on the other side. I think it'll look good. I'm going to put some fleece. I have some green fleece, and I'm putting it down as my, here, I'll bring that over here. Let's see. And that will be my grass. It matches back here as close as I can get it. And the steps will be on it, I guess. I'm not quite sure. And I've got a little piece that'll come over here. And get that all glued in. I think it's going to start looking cute. And I'll have the porch roof. And I have my little washer. And I have my little clothesline. I think I'm going to have one pole here. And this should hang on to the side of the post that holds the roof up, I think. And I have, still need to dress, naming her Peggy. I need to dress Peggy. Got some little high heels here and little plastic clothes. I think she might be cake decorating doll. I'm not sure. But I'm going to put her in here. She's the right scale. And I've got a little calf because we're in the country. And I'll have to make sure it stays up. And I made the basket I made. And I don't know. I'm getting pretty excited. I'm seeing how things are going to fit in. And I got some flowers I made. I made some really tiny daffodils. And so anyway, it's coming along. It's taking a while because, like I said, construction, building is not my forte. I can't tell you how many times I had to peel things off and re-glue and recut and reshape. And that's just the way it is when you don't really know what you're doing and when you're doing things at funny angles. I don't know if you can see this, but I had to cut this on the fold of a cereal box so that it would make a nice fold here. And it'll set in right here, and then it'll angle down. And then the door can come down, and the top can come down over it. And ta-da! So anyway, onward and upward. Okay, here's where I've gotten to so far. Got my blue jay on top of the fence post, or the clothesline post. Clothes. My washer and tubs. And thinking about putting this mat down here. Got some flowers and animals. And I really need to probably paint the top of her head brown. I thought I would make hair out of yarn, and I think it might work. I got her dressed. Got a little apron on her. Clothes. So far, so good. Okay, here's the big reveal. Again, I just want to mention the Tide box. I had used them probably 40 years ago to put toys in and magazines in. They're very sturdy. And I had so many of these. Slowly got rid of them over the years as we moved out the toys or magazines. But I had this one, and it had been open from the bottom, so it was easy to glue that back up. And then my husband helped me to cut along the edges. We started at the bottom and went up the sides and over the top. So thank you, hubby, for helping me with that. He had the tools to do that, keep it straight. And so there we go. Ta-da! I think it turned out so cute. I thought it was a fitting theme for inside of a Tide box to have wash day. I printed off a singing of country, wide open country, early spring, waiting for the greening of the hills. And it just had a beautiful blue sky. I had some what is this, fleece fabric from the thrift store. It does get linty. I'm going to have to vacuum it or something to make my ground, and it matched the grass. Looks rather dappled in certain lighting with the line, the clothes on the line. I did a green on the porch and a little green mat. So the ground stayed green, and then I have a blue roof. So we still have blue sky, green ground. So hopefully the center part is what will really pop. I made a little clothes basket out of some burlap ribbon and scraps of fabric here. Just a round dowel. Put a little blue jay. It was a charm from Hobby Lobby. You'll see more than their birds in their dollhouse section. There's greenery, just Dollar Tree stuff. Some little dried flowers I put down here. Little tortoise. Had to have a little tortoise living under the porch, staying cool. And tulips came from Hobby Lobby. And here's some kitty cats. They were from Michael's, that scale. I believe the dog, I have a little dog with a bone. The doggy, keep him busy, occupied so I didn't chase the kitties. Or help the calf pull the clothes off the line. So I got him stuck under here. Here's the basket that I think this is what the tulips came in. There was 2 of them. And here's the clothesline. I got socks made from knit fabrics. Yep, polyester and cottons is what I used. And there we go. Some cute little clothes. And the pegs are just strips, little tiny pieces of balsa wood. And the calf came from the thrift store. So cute. I took some greenery back there as well. Just something I found in the thrift store. And used the cereal box cardboard to make the siding. Just layered it, and the shingles. It paints really well, it cuts really well, but it does warp a little bit. So not only is the wall a little warped, but so is the roof. I made the screen door out of some netting and painted it. It was white netting, so I had to use some permanent markers to tint it. And I found an image online of a kitchen. A vintage kitchen, and glued it in there. The door does not open. There's nowhere for it to go. I made a little scrub board out of some scraps of cardboard, and found online a tiny image of Tide box. It was laid out flat, so I just cut the whole thing out and glued it together. Gave it some tabs so it would have somewhere to glue, and then I just glued it there because it's so tiny it kept falling over. Now let's see. Oh, a little rug came out. The little rug was just a scrap of fabric, and I put some of that burlap ribbon on the back to make it a little stiffer. Now this was from our butter at a restaurant. I used some bit of wire here, and then used my chrome markers and just painted the whole thing. And this one was actually a toothpaste lid, and again wires for the handles, bits of scraps of fabric hanging out. And Susan at My Mini Madness had showed how to use hot glue. You don't want to fill the whole thing with hot glue, so there's cardboard stuck down in there, and then on top is the hot glue, so it looks like you got bubbly water. This is the thing that started this whole thing. I had been seeing laundry rooms in soap boxes, or I guess it's the plastic jugs now, but I wanted something a little bit more vintage, and I found this at an antique shop, and it is a fridge magnet, but it was just the right scale. It's 1/24 scale, and I had, you know, the tinier animals and and the smaller wash tubs. And I also had the perfect little doll. She wasn't exactly cute, but she had potential. So I clothed her and gave her some yarn for hair. Looks like she's having a messy hair day here. But she got all that laundry done, and that's what's important, right? Now that would be a chore. And I was just thinking about my grandma back in the day probably would have been thrilled to have a wringer washer and not have to do things by hand. Not all of it, at least, by hand. But you got to be on the job. It's not like setting your washer and walking away back then. Anyway, I thought it turned out really cute. She does stand up. For some reason, she's acting floppy. But anyway, I thought it turned out really cute. I named her Peggy. I have plants. Oh, I forgot to mention my little tiny daffodils. I don't know if you can see that. I used some yellow sticky notes. Sticky notes. There you go. And cut out some little star shapes and stuck on some bits of wire, and then added some greenery. I think that greenery came from Dollar Tree. I'll show you what that looked like. Here we go. It was a big stem of this. And here's what my tiny red flowers came from. And here is the lid, toothpaste, that became, you cut it off here, became the wash tub. You don't have to fill up the whole thing. I used a lot of Fabri-Tac, a lot of tacky glue, Aleene's tacky glue. I used the burlap ribbon that had the wire in the side. This is what the fleece looked like. It's fuzzy on both sides. Anyway, I had a lot of fun making this. I'm glad it turned out so well. I think I might put some clear acetate over the front and top so that when it's open, it won't get a lot of dust and lint in there on that, on the grass. Also, I think I need to put a magnet maybe at the bottom so it'll stay down. So order some tiny magnets. But I just think that is so cute. It's like, ta-da! Here's a strip of cereal box down here to give a cleaner looking edge. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming to visit and for stopping in to see it. Hope you like it. Anyway, have a great day. God bless.